Hello and welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is The Green Show, the home of all your EFL action on the Blue Podcast Network. I'm your host, Matthew, and I'm joined by Ethan and Kian. And we're going to be taking you through the playoffs and our Championship team of the season. So should we start with the Championship playoff final then?
Let's go.
What are your thoughts?
All the Mackens. Sorry. Absolutely buzzing.
The only good thing to come for it is the fact that we're going to get the derby next year of
Yeah.
Newcastle and Sunderland. I wanted Chef to come up
Why?
on the basis that I just don't like Sunderland.
No, but I also think that it would have been better for all parties, as in all the Premier League teams and the Championship teams, if Sheffield United went up, because Sheffield United, I think, will be worse in the Premier League than Sunderland, but they'd be better in the Championship next year than Sunderland would be, because I think Sunderland will invest heavy, whereas if Sheffield United had gone up, they wouldn't have done enough, I don't think.
No, I think Sheffield United would do better than Sunderland next year in the Prem.
I don't think so. I think Sunderland. I do think Sunderland won't do well, but I think they'd do better than Sheffield would.
The only thing Sheffield United would have had is edging it over Sunderland is the experience.
Yeah, that's the one thing. But I think Sunderland will have that, like, you know how Luton and Ipswich did all right.
Yeah, but Sunderland have showed multiple occasions that you don't need experience. Like they're all
Look how young their team is.
It's very different in the Premier League.
If they want to do well, they need to bring in a couple of experienced big Premier League names. I think 'cause that's the only way they can do it. I don't think their young squad's good enough.
I just personally think they're going to need like 9 first team signings or something.
Yeah,
like I know it might sound crazy, but when you go up from the Championship to the Prem, the actual gap in quality is so big. They're going to need 9 first team signings.
Well, I've said it all season that I just don't think that the gap is reachable. I still think the 3 promoted will go back down.
All 3 of them.
On that note, where do you think Sunderland will finish next season in the Premier League?
Bottom.
You think bottom?
I think bottom.
I think probably bottom as well. I mean, it makes sense, but then it's because I think Burnley will be good defensively next season, but they won't score enough. Mm-hmm. And I think Leeds will do what they always do in the Premier League, which is they'll try and outscore the opposition, but probably unable to do so.
I mean,
and then set their manager halfway through.
Yeah.
You look at that Sunderland squad, or the team that started the playoff final. Who are the ones that are going to be Premier League quality? I think Patterson.
Mayenda.
I think Patterson will be all right. Hume will be all right. Ballard, I think he might be all right.
Dan Neil, maybe?
Neil, yeah. I think Joe Bellingham's overrated.
And Enzo Lefebvre, if they keep him.
Yeah, but I think Bellingham.
I think that's confirmed now.
There are quite a few who are Prem quality, I think.
You don't think Luke O'Nine's Prem quality?
I don't know.
I like 09, but I don't think he's Prem quality.
Which do you think is better out of Ballard and 09?
Ballard.
Yeah, I think so.
Ballard's solid. But
yeah.
I just think Joe Bellingham is so overrated.
Really? That's why do you think that?
Every time I've watched him this season, he's looked average. I mean, he had a good playoff final, but every time I watch him, he just looks average. I think it's obviously a big thing. Is probably the name on.
Yeah, but define average.
Just doesn't stand out as much as you think. He's meant to be this star boy of the Championship.
That's just because he's got Bellingham on the
and
I actually think the Bellingham name doesn't help him one bit. I think it adds the pressure. I don't think it's a good thing for him.
If he doesn't have that name, he's not getting linked to the likes of Dortmund and stuff. How he is now.
I think he is. I think he's been quite good.
Yeah,
I do.
I just don't think he's.
Going back to the actual playoff, though, what did you make of Tom Watson's goal? Absolutely, I think it's an absolutely superb strike.
It's perfectly placed.
I was like,
no saving it.
I was like, what? When he shot, I was like, why on earth is he shot? It didn't look like.
I thought he gone wide. I think everyone did, but
I thought the keeper were going to save it. It looked like a P roller, but
yeah, it was such a weird strike.
It was that technique though. It's become quite common recently. I've noticed where players kind of they see a defender standing in front of the keeper's vision, they just kind of curve it around the defender. The keeper sees it late, and it doesn't matter how much power you put in, and the keeper can't get it. But did you think Sunderland deserved to win? I know they did win, but do you think they deserved it?
First half, Sheffield United were the better side in the first half. I think Sunderland really grew into the game in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think the 20 minutes were the only period Sunderland were the better team.
Like, going back to Watson's goal, that goal really reminded me of Jack Bridge against Forest Green last week.
You literally had to get that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah, playoff final. Well, quickly then, playoff final for you. What do you think?
We're going up.
Okay, fair enough.
The ticket thing is ridiculous. We've only got 21,000.
Actually, yeah, I do want to cover that quickly. That is mental.
Yeah, like we've only been given 21,000. Like what? 21,500.
Explain for anyone who doesn't know.
So Southend have obviously reached the playoff final for National League against Oldham. and because of the rail strikes, they've like reduced the capacity of Wembley.
Yeah, it's not
So
fair.
we could like Southend could easily sell 35,000 tickets
Easily, I reckon. Yeah,
easily. So and I reckon so could Oldham.
probably. Yeah, they're both massive historical fan bases. That's the thing.
But because of the rail strikes, they're not sure people will be able to get there. We've been given 21,500 with the option to sell more coaches. I think that's what's come out in the last 2 days. I think Oldham have also been given 21,000, but then they've also been given an extra 9,000 of coaches, like coach spaces.
It's a trek for Oldham fans.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah,
it's not exactly a trek for us either. It's just down the road.
no, exactly. But
I mean, it's not exactly horrible to get to. It's just I would just go to Baker Street to Wembley Central. Job done.
I do hope that Southend come up. But moving back
So
to the current teams in the EFL, should we go on to Charlton v Leyton Orient?
Yeah.
1-0. I think this is probably one of the most playoff finals I've ever seen.
It's just it's what you'd expect.
It was such a boring game. I
Keeper
think.
should have done better. For the
Yeah,
wicket.
I think
Keeper
so
should
too.
have done better.
I mean, he struck it well, but he's
Yeah.
left too much space.
Yeah.
I remember his free kick earlier in the game. That
Oh yeah, you just
from like the halfway line, he just kicked it straight out for a goal kick.
yeah. If we're talking about kicking it straight out, we could talk about the League 2 one, Wimbledon.
Oh,
So
that ball.
We'll get on to that.
Could that ball have been in the air any longer?
No,
I mean, every single long ball.
It was more off the pitch than anything. It was
Yeah.
just
We'll
the
get
worst
on-
bit of football I've
on
seen.
But
to
yeah,
that.
with the Charlton game, though, I think Charlton deserved this, and
I said they were good.
I also think they defended very well throughout the whole game. Like they were just solid at the back, and that's all
Yeah.
you really need to do. If you get the goal, just sit back and protect it. And that's what they did. They did it well.
I said they'd go up because of Nathan Jones, and I've been proved right.
I don't think it is just that they've had some very good players.
I know,
Godden,
but
obviously, is very good for them.
Like I said the other week, Nathan Jones best manager in League One.
Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Like, it don't even come close to me.
He's a good Championship manager.
Yeah.
So, like,
he's
him and
solid.
Lloyd
Yeah,
is
I mean, he's managing the Premier
I
Southampton.
do think
Yeah.
Charlton would do next season though. That's
Mid-table.
That's what I was going to ask.
Mid-table.
I think
No, I think they stay up, but I
Well,
don't
I've
think it's
already-
comfortable.
I think I've got my relegation free.
Go on.
No, I don't. I've lost it. Give me a minute to
Yeah,
stuff. I'll just
no,
one
but
thing.
yeah. I don't think I don't personally think Charlton will be in that relegation free. I think they will finish. I think just above, but I don't think they'll go down.
No, I reckon they'll be mid-table.
Mid-table,
I reckon they'll be mid-table.
like when you say mid-table in the Championship, what are you saying?
I'm talking like 12th.
You think 12? Wow.
Yeah.
I've got my three: Hull, Oxford, and Birmingham.
You're not saying Birmingham to go
joking,
down.
I'm joking,
I was
I'm
going to say
joking,
Birmingham are not going down.
Hull,
Birmingham-
Oxford, and I think Charlton could.
I think it'll be between
We'll see what
them,
happens.
Derby,
I
and,
don't think Derby
and
will go
maybe
down.
somebody like Portsmouth.
I don't think Derby will go down with Eustace in charge. We can't see
Yeah,
that.
probably not. But I do think there'll be a few teams out. The thing is, though, as we know, the Championship is probably the hardest league in the world to predict. You just don't know. 'Cause
Well,
I
no
think-
one predicted Luton to go down.
That's what I mean. You could look at it. Even
really
someone like
useless.
Southampton or us could go down. Like we just don't know at this point.
That would be.
Yeah,
icing
your
on the
points
cake.
deduction, mate.
Yeah, you're not talking about that.
If
I
Leicester
don't-
go down, that would be unbelievable.
Oh, you wouldn't hear from me again.
Green Show host just AWOL.
go off the radar.
Go off the
But,
face of the earth.
yeah. What do you think will be in store though for Richie Wellens' team next season? Do you think they'll be back in the playoff race next season? Where do you think they'll be next season?
Depends if Charlie Kelman can keep it going. Because
Well,
if they get him on loan again or even sign him,
Well, I don't think he goes back, and I think they'll have playoff hangover.
You think?
You've seen it so many times, and I think it'll be mid-table for them next season, especially losing Kelman.
Yeah.
You're gonna find it difficult to actually replace him.
Just quickly, because I forgot to ask earlier, how do you think Sheffield United will do in the Championship next season?
I don't even think.
They'll just do the same old as every single year.
Well,
They'll
I
play
don't-
like
I don't think-
second. I reckon they'll finish second.
I think
third,
they
fourth.
finish like that 6th, 7th spot.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, they're gonna lose Harmer, aren't they? They're gonna lose Harmer.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, probably.
you'd imagine so.
Obviously, Raksaki's going to go back to Palace, and yeah, I just don't think they're going to have a good year next year.
Fair enough. Well, shall we move on to the League 2 one now?
Yeah.
'Cause that
Worst game of
This is
worst
one I
game of
didn't watch.
football.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
blame.
we
You've
were
not
in
missed
the
much.
stadium.
You've not missed much. It was the worst game of football I've seen.
Shout out to the Wimbledon fans. Though. The
Yeah.
Wimbledon fans were very loud, I thought.
AFC Wimbledon. There you
Yeah,
go.
I've seen the limbs on Full On Football's
Could you-
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Could you hear that chant from the
What,
AFC?
AFC
Yeah. All
Wimbledon.
they were singing all
Yeah.
game, but it was loud. It was loud.
Yeah, it was loud. The fucking poor Walsall guy.
Were they singing at all? Because I
No.
didn't hear it.
Tell you what, they could be the best limbs at Wembley.
They were very because I was.
No.
They were unreal.
Wait till Sunday.
Actually, I was in the top tier, which wasn't very good celebration wise. It was all right.
It looked good.
But I was looking down on the Wimbledon fans in the bottom tier. And I was like, from above, it looked good. And then I saw that video afterwards. It's just
Should we get the clip in?
yeah. The clip will be in there. But I would say Hippolyte's goal was a very good finish. Though I know it was a rubbish game of football, but it was a very good goal. I thought.
He just had too much time. I thought Walsall, they did well for the first clearance, and then as soon as it got to the second ball, it was just all panic stations.
Yeah,
it's like no one knew how to play football. The ball spent more time off the pitch than it did actually on the pitch. They couldn't string 5 passes together. Like, they've not exactly
I think the occasion got to them a bit.
Oh yeah, 100%. They've not done the Black Country very well.
I think Walsall's bottle is probably the worst bottle we've seen in English football.
This is just because they're from Birmingham.
No. I actually might agree on that point though.
No.
They were 12 points clear of the league.
Oh shit! Yeah. I thought you meant like in the game.
No. They were
100%,
12 points clear at the top of the league, and they somehow haven't gone up.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
I completely agree with you. Generation. Yeah, was it 15 points clear? Generational Walsall bottle. Sure.
I seriously don't understand. I mean, I know they lost Nathan Lowe, but
their fans were seething.
Yeah, there was. You seen the guy? You seen the clip on online? There's that Walsall fan literally crying outside Wembley.
Oh yeah,
someone's taking.
I got the train back after the game, and there were loads of Walsall fans on my train. They all seemed quite happy. I thought they were all in. Well, we'll go again next season.
The ones who I was sitting with, they were seething.
Padded seats.
Oh yeah, I was at level. I was level 2 at Wembley, and it felt like hospitality. It was so strange. I had probably one of the best ground at football, although it did cost me an arm and a leg. It was just unbelievable. Pineapple coleslaw. For some reason, it bangs.
Was that the best part of the game then?
Yeah, generally. The best part of the game was the pint beforehand. Camden Easy IPA.
And last thing on the playoffs, on that playoff then, Wimbledon, where do they finish next season, and how will Walsall do next year?
I reckon Walsall will finish
mid-table.
No, I think they go up automatically.
I think this Walsall bottle is going to absolutely do them.
I think they'll invest next season because of this bottle, and they'll do well. I think automatics. I think for them.
I reckon they'll be. I don't reckon they'll be in automatics. I reckon they'll be back in the playoffs.
I think Wimbledon won't survive though.
I think they will. I think they'll invest a lot.
I reckon they'll finish like 15th, 16th.
Yeah, I think they'll cut quite comfortably. There's a lot of poor teams in that league.
Well, in like the leagues of League 2, League 1, you don't really see the teams that come up, go straight back down.
No, well, obviously that's mainly because of Stockport and Wrexham.
No, even in the last few years.
Yeah.
Though.
You got to think though, last season's League 1 relegation battle.
I mean, it
only went down to like Burton and who was it? I don't remember.
Yeah, but even when you look at the National League, no newly promoted National League sides have gone down since like 19, God knows when.
Yeah, I do think it will be all right. But shall we move on to our Championship team of the season then?
Let's go.
Well, in goal,
it's no question. It is James Trafford.
It's James Trafford.
Like, 29 clean sheets. He's faced 2 penalties all season. He saved them both. I think weren't they both in the same game as well against Sunderland?
Yeah.
William Isidore. Yeah.
William Isidore.
87% save percentage.
Yeah,
that's mental.
Generally, on my notes, I've got needs no explanation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just wanted to put those stats in just to show how unbelievable it's
also,
been.
That run of, was it 12 games where he got a clean sheet?
I don't know, but
I think it's 12
He's only conceded at least 1 goal in 17 games. Like imagine that you've played 46 games and your keeper's only let one in 17 of them.
These lot were playing Murich over him last season.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like.
But then again, he wasn't good in the Premier League. But do we think he can step up now?
Do Murich?
No, Trafford. When he played last season, he wasn't good.
I think this just gives him confidence.
I think next season he'll be unbelievable. I think.
You'd hope so.
Burnley will probably come back down, or in fact, almost definitely will come back down. I think, but he will probably move on to a top club after next season. I reckon.
I can see him. For some reason, I can see him at Everton.
Yeah, I could see him there if Pickford leaves eventually.
So what are we doing next? Right back or left?
Let's go right back. Who have you got?
I've got Troy Hume.
I have as well.
I've also got Hugh.
Wow.
I've also got no need for explanation.
Well, no, I think you've got to think of Bogle as well. I think Bogle's had a great year for Leeds.
I think, but he's got 3 goals, 6 assists this season. Trey Hume, he's been solid
Again.
all season. He's one of the reasons they managed to get to the playoff final in the first place.
I mean, I've got no notes
won
because I thought no need for explanation.
Yeah,
It's
he's
obviously
quite an obvious choice.
I think also Connor Roberts is a shout as well.
Yeah, he's been all right. Yeah. Then that was pretty simple. Should we move on to our 2 centre backs?
Yeah.
Go on.
Right, so we're doing both at the same.
Yeah, do both.
Well, I've got the burning pair, Esteve and Egan Riley.
You got them both. Wow.
I don't see how you can't have them.
Ethan, who have you got?
I've gone with Harry Darling and Liam Lindsay from Preston. So
Explain.
Darling from
Lindsay.
Swansea. Yeah.
Go on.
Right, we'll go from Harry Darling from Swansea. Right, you ready? Most attacking defender in the Championship.
Why is that good? Why does that make
you
him
want
good
your
this
defender to
season?
defend, mate.
Yeah, but he scored 5, so he's good on the attacking front. Most fouls 1, and he's also played every game. And the
I
games.
actually don't think that does make him the best attacking centre back, by the way, because one of mine that I've got, I think, has better stats than that.
Yeah, but how many? Like, I'm on about he's scored 5 goals. I believe it is the best.
Mine has also scored 5 goals.
Oh, there you go.
I've got
Yeah, well, join them.
I've got Esteve as well because he's been ridiculous, and Pascal Strike for Leeds because I think he's been treated unfairly by their fans because they've been critical of him. Yes, I don't think he's Premier League quality, but he scored some very important late goals, like the goal against Sunderland, for example.
Yeah.
And he's been solid whenever he's played this whole season. I think he's been good, and without him they wouldn't have won the league.
How many games he started?
He's played. I know he's played in 22. I don't know how many he started.
22.
Sorry, I think it might have been 32 even. Let me check. 35 even. I don't know where I got 22 from. 35.
I still think.
Big Harry Darling has played every minute of every game.
Well, I still think Esteve and Ian Riley, that defensive record.
Lindsay.
He's played Lindsay.
Yeah.
Just very consistent, really. In a Preston side, in a pretty poor Preston side, he's been like one of their stand-up
quite
players.
a few goals though.
Well, yeah, but he's been decent. Like, he's been probably one of their stand-up players.
I personally think we go Esteve
Apart
and
from
Ian
Osmond.
Riley because of that defensive record is a joke.
I mean, I would back them, but I do think Stroik. I put Stroik in there kind of because I think he gets overlooked.
So who we vote? So Esteve gets in.
Yeah,
So it's between
that's
Egan Riley and
Harry Darling.
No,
It's got to be Harry Darling.
No, we can't have Harry Darling.
Why can we not have Harry Darling?
Because you said he's the most attacking centre back.
No, but
he's not even scored the most goals.
Right, QPR. When they played QPR, unbelievable clearance. When they played, can't remember who they played. He's been like the most consistent centre half.
Yeah, but a lot of these players,
No, he has not.
Yes, he has.
Esteve has.
a lot of these players you could pick out.
Yeah, but I'm not
moments
picking.
as well.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, Esteve. Yeah, but he's already in the team. So
Yeah,
I've
and
taken him out of the
Egan Riley. I
think
I
Egan
would.
Riley.
think
I
Egan
would
Riley.
take Harry Darling over.
Well, I think we've been outvoted there.
Yeah,
mate. So
Egan Riley.
we're going Esteve and
What a
Egan
joke.
Riley.
Left back, I think there's one clear option here. Who have you all got?
I've gone with Cody Drameh from Hull.
Well, that is not who I was thinking. Who have
I've
you got?
gone Firpo.
I've also gone Ginny Firpo because he's got 10 assists this season, which is a lot for a left back. He's been solid.
He's scoring goals
He's,
as well.
he always helps the attackers. That's what I mean. He always helps the attack as well, but he also does defend well.
The other shout you could have is Harrison Burrows.
Yeah,
He got into the official EFL.
Why
team.
why Cody Drameh?
He's a right back, isn't he?
Yeah, but he can play left back, so he's played there a few times. Because he's got the second most tackles per 90 this season.
Yeah, but
So
what else?
That's probably bad.
So what? Surely doesn't get it.
Right, there's a reason why I've picked these players, which I'll explain at the end.
Okay, fine.
Right.
Right, centre. So how do we want to do centre mid?
Should we
do one
just
at a time?
name off 3 because
Yeah. Just do.
All right.
Well, have you got like an attacking mid, defensive mid?
I've got a centre mid, a kind of defensive mid, and an attacking mid.
So.
Okay, so I'll just do mine. I've got Josh Brownhill, Io Tanaka, and Gus Hamer.
I've got Tanaka, Hamer, and my maybe bit controversial one. I've got Matt Grimes.
So you haven't got Josh Brownhill, who's got the most goals and assists. in the
Okay,
league.
so Tanaka gets in and Hamer gets in because we've all got them, and then I've also got Jason Knight from Bristol City.
Yeah,
Right.
that Knight's a really good shout.
Sorry,
I like
two of
it.
you have left out Josh Brownhill, who's from midfield has got the most goals and assists out of anybody in the league.
Yep.
Why?
I just think Grimes is a massive reason why Coventry got playoffs. Coming in January.
But Josh Brownhill's pretty much the only reason why Burnley scored any goals, which is the reason why they managed to finish second and get autos.
I mean, again, there's a reason why I haven't picked him, which I'll explain at the end.
Okay.
I'll happily vote Brownhill.
I'm going to say it's
go
got
in
to
that
be.
spot.
Well, I mean, but I'm still having Jake. Well,
Tanaka-
Io Tanaka is obvious because
all 3 of us picked him.
he's
Tanaka
just,
is-
We'll explain the pick a bit, like because he's.
Oh,
I think
like-
He's my
class,
player of
like,
the season.
Like, it's just-
He's so.
He's been
He's
unbelievable.
an absolute little pit bull in the midfield.
And then Gus Tamer as well. We've all got. I just
Yeah.
think he's a cut above.
Go.
Yeah, he's got to get a move.
He's got 16 goal involvements this season.
He's
Very
been
good
unbelievable.
season.
He's got to get a move.
Where do you think he goes?
Leeds want him,
I could see that.
and I think Leeds would need someone like him.
Yeah,
But do you?
he could
It's
get
a
a higher
very-
level than that. I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon.
Where do you I know Everton want him as well.
I
He
would
could
have
go
to-
there somewhere.
I would take him at United.
I think he'd do. I think he'd even do a job there.
Yeah, probably. Well, Gus
Although no
Morris
one
could
could
do a
really-
job at.
But yeah, Josh
United, right?
Brownhill for me is obvious. That was the first one I put in.
No, I'd just put Jason Knight. It's just a bit different.
Go on, explain Jason Knight.
No, Knight's had a very good year.
I know,
He's
but
been-
Yeah,
explain
see,
why
look,
you put him
look.
in for anyone who doesn't know why.
Well, Kian's doing my job for me. Go on, carry on.
Well, I didn't actually look into the stats.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, I thought you might have.
Just-
Sorry, I just realised I lied, so I'm going to correct myself.
Oh.
Josh Brownhill does not have the most goals in the league.
There we
Joel Pirro does, but he's got the second most
There we go.
of anyone.
But I really like Grimes this year. I think.
Right, we're getting
Yeah.
up the stats for Jason Knight.
Obviously, I
because
know
he's
you.
gonna
I know
blow you
you're
out of
not
the
a
water.
fan of Coventry, Matt. But
No, but that's not what I've not put him in. I put him.
Yeah, it so is.
I put Josh Brownhill in purely because he's got the most goals and assists out of any midfielder
Right.
in the league.
Right,
if we're getting Pop, my boy, Ethan,
he's got
Oh, let's
6
start this.
assists. 6 assists. So he's exceeded his expected assists. It's such a shite stat, but we're using it. He is in the
Josh
top.
Brownhill also has.
He's
6
in the top
assists.
5% of successful passes. Top 90. He's in the top 2% of touches. Top 6% of successful dribbles. Top 2% of fouls won. Top 20% of tackles won. 2% of duels won. 3% of aerial duels won.
It's
So
a lot
need
of
I say
stats.
more? Yeah,
He's had a
come
very
prepared.
good season.
He's got the most recoveries in the league, and he's got the most possession won in the final third.
He has had a very good season.
I say
think it's
I
gotta
say
be
Brownhill.
Might as well
It's
go.
got to be. It has to be.
I think Knight and Grimes are good.
They're good
options.
shouts. They're
Yeah.
good shouts, but like it is Brownhill.
Yeah,
Should we go to right wing next?
yeah.
I know he kind of doesn't play, but I've got Borges Sands on the right.
No,
I've got
should we just do our attacking three then?
no.
I
Just
want to do this one by one. Have you got on the right?
Well, you can go. For
I've got Tom Fellows from West Brom.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't
I
mind
really
that.
like that.
I looked at him.
14
I've
assists this year.
got Josh Murphy from Portsmouth.
Oh, you classing him on the right? Oh, well, I'll swap mine around then. I've got Josh Murphy.
You got Murphy as
I've
well.
got- yeah.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
I didn't think anyone else. He's my rogue shout because I didn't
Well,
think
I had
anyone would put
Murphy
him
up
in.
front. So
Oh,
What?
Wait, we've all got him in.
Yeah.
I'm going to say because he's got
Okay,
20
so Josh
21
Murphy gets on the right.
Yeah, 21 goals and assists in a lower to mid-table side that were basically predicted to get
this is why I
relegated.
should just do like a top, do our front three
All right, fine.
because like
Right,
you've
right.
got him playing on the right.
Borges
I've got him
Signs,
playing up front.
Josh Murphy and Joel Pirro.
That's the exact same.
Oh, I've got Borges Signs, Tom Fellows, and Josh Murphy.
Yeah. Well, we
Pirro's
got
top scorer in the
so
league. though.
Borges Signs and Josh Murphy both get in. It's then who? So then up front are we saying Joel Pirro?
Yeah.
He's top.
Yeah, Pirro.
He's top scorer in the league.
Yeah. Well, Tom
I
Fellows
like
got 14.
Fellows,
Right,
though.
Yeah, but he's got
Let's-
14. He's got 14
Right, let's
assists.
just
on
the other
Prem
ones
side.
first.
Right.
So
Murphy-
Josh Murphy,
Murphy.
yeah, 21 goals and assists. He's joint with names such as Dan James on his goal involvement. He's also the top assister in the league.
I do think we are sleeping on Dan James.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But
if I weren't doing my little niche thing, Dan James, I would have picked Dan James.
The one thing I would argue is that Josh Murphy's got the same amount of goal involvements in him in a much worse team.
But you'd rather. But
Because
I
Dan James would have had more chances, whereas Josh Murphy would have had less, and he's done the same amount of goals. and
like if you used to pick a team, you'd have Dan James.
you'd have Dan
yeah,
James.
but this
I
is based
think
on what they've contributed
Yeah, yeah.
to their team this season.
And I think Dan James is.
Murphy's obviously
done more.
Murphy is a big reason why Portsmouth have done so well this season.
I think without him, Portsmouth
And-
would have gone down.
But they have Colby Bishop as well.
Potentially.
Colby Bishop's had a good year.
He was injured for a
But
bit
it's
of
like
it, though.
Murphy. Remember him at Cardiff and having an absolute stinker there.
No shock. Decided to play
This in
Aaron there.
Cardiff, man. Stop with this in Cardiff. Then he
That's the
went,
reason why he didn't put Harry Darling in.
joke. Was then at Oxford in League One. I think he had a move before that, but he started to rejuvenate his career at Oxford. And then everyone was shocked when he made the move from Oxford to Portsmouth, which is understandable because he's joined one promoted side from the
Sidestep,
other.
it looks like.
Yeah. But
He's done very well,
Murphy's
though.
done brilliant
He's-
this year.
I do think he's a big reason as to why they've stayed up, and I think without Dan James, Leeds probably still could have got
Yeah.
promoted.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a key reason why, which is why because I think Josh Murphy's more key to
The
Portsmouth than Leeds.
Murphy brothers have been cooking this season.
Yeah.
They have been.
So then Borges Signs, obviously second top scorer in the league. My only other note for him is he started like a house on fire.
Yeah,
And then second half season, he
he did drop.
He has
dropped.
the one because I was considering not putting him in because he did have such a big drop off because he was very good. But I think that was just Norwich though.
Yeah.
Norwich did that as well because
That's what they always do. They always.
He did get suspended for a large amount of games.
Yeah, but he didn't come back the same.
Do you think he gets a Prem move? I don't
No,
think he does.
not
I don't
anymore.
think he's good enough.
I think because everyone was looking at him.
You don't
at the
think he's
start
good
of the
enough?
season.
For the Prem, no.
Oof.
I think he's one of them. He's going to be too good for the Championship, but not good enough.
At the start of the season, everyone was
I
looking
feel
at
like
him.
a
and
low down Premier League side.
they were saying at the start of the
West
season that he
Ham.
was easily going to get a Prem move because he looked very good, and that shows you how much he's dropped off. That we're now talking about the fact he probably won't get one because it looked obvious at the start of the season.
Well, I just think he'd do good in a low down Prem side. Spurs, West Ham, Wolves.
Then you had Tom Fellows. Do you want to explain that one?
Yeah, I like the
14
fellas.
assists this season.
Yeah,
Again, been
I like
stand out
Fellows.
in a mid-West Brom side.
I think he goes Palace.
I do like that shout, but I do think the front three is probably Borja Signs, Josh Murphy, and Joel Pirro.
Right, and the little niche thing that I was doing, I gave myself the little challenge of one person per club.
Ah,
I thought you might
So
say,
that's
I
why
like that.
Cody Drammer is in there.
It was very good though. I did think you had shouts for all of them.
See?
So
So that's why
So-
that is why Burnley defence. I had to have James Trafford because realistically he's the stand-up player from Burnley.
yeah.
Like,
Who's your player from Sheffield United that you
Palmer.
had?
Hamer.
Oh, of course. Right. Well, shall I run to the team we had? James Trafford, Trey Hume, Esteve, Egan Riley, Junior Firpo. Then we had Josh Brownhill, Gus Hamer, and Aya Tanaka in midfield. Borja Signs, Josh Murphy, and Joel Pirro up front.
I still genuinely think that Harry Darling should be in the.
Well,
second
he's
half.
not. And that is where we're going to end this week's Screen Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you check out all the other content on our channel. Subscribe if you're new, and we will see you in the next one.